I think the Tigers had the best upgrade yesterday. I think they now have the best rotation in either league. They're really 5 deep. It almost doesn't matter. You only need to go 4 deep in the postseason. I think the A's are the better team overall. They're more well-rounded. They have the stronger offense, stronger defense. But the thing is, in the postseason, what matters the most, your top 3 starters really play up. And if you line those guys up, Oakland is very good. Detroit is just a tick better.
Oh, so postseason-wise, you're going Detroit.
I think Detroit's better lined up for the postseason. Oakland would be better over the 160
You had
games.
me going there. I was
leading you,
and
yes,
boom.
faked you out.
I'm with him from the standpoint of, with those aces now that the Tigers have. First team since the 2001 Boston Red Sox to have 3 Cy Young Award winners on their baseball team. But the question I have for you is, Keith, is John Lester has that postseason experience. David Price does not. How will David Price, who has not had postseason success, ratchet that up and turn that around, being a member of the Detroit Tigers?
Well, Price's only real postseason success, the extended postseason time, came as a reliever his first time around, first time that the Rays made the playoffs with him on the roster. I think that'll help. I don't think he'll get rattled. The biggest question now is this is going to be as deep into a season as he's ever pitched before, because he's never had to go deep into October. And what kind of physical wear and tear is that going to take on him? I always worry about younger guys who haven't pitched deep into September all the way into October. The first time that they do it, are they built up for it? Or are they going to start to get some physical fatigue? Never mind the emotional stuff, just how are their bodies going to respond when they're asking it to pitch close to Halloween, and previously they've never pitched past the end of September?
And how much are you counting on Verlander in the postseason?
What, is he their 4th starter now?
I don't know. You tell me.
5th starter?
I don't know.
He's not the ace?
He's not the ace. You got to go Scherzer or Price in one order or the other. Anibal Sanchez led the league in ERA last year.
Right.
Pretty good number 3. Verlander's going to be the 4. I'm being facetious.
Yeah.
Osmus is not going to skip him or send him to the bullpen. Rick Porcello would be a pretty good 4th starter in any other playoff team. I think you put Porcello in the pen as the long man, make Verlander the 4th starter. So in a 7-game series, he's only pitching once. In a 5-game series, he might not pitch at all. But hopefully by giving him some extra rest, because he hasn't been the same this year. Not results, not velocity-wise. Give him some extra rest, see if the velocity ticks up a little bit more, and he has more success if he's pitching once every week instead of once every 5 days.
Because if we're just projecting into the postseason right now, Verlander becomes the huge X factor.
Yes.
How much respect will they pay him for what he has done to say, hey, you deserve the start in game 3, whichever game it is. Some key game he might start.
Yes.
And is he Verlander or Zoolander? Because he's Zoolander this year.
That's
to me,
good.
well, seriously, which one is he? Every time I watch him pitch, I say, who is that guy?
It's not the old Verlander.
No.
The old Verlander is the guy you wanted pitching games 1 and 5 or games 3 and 7.
Yeah.
Now, if you make him your nominal 3rd starter, he starts game 3 for you, he is set up to start game 7. This year's Verlander is fine, but not the guy you want starting that 7th game. You'd rather have Sanchez. You might prefer to have Porcello in that situation. I see no chance they skip Verlander at all in the rotation. At least a 50-50 chance they make him the 3 and Sanchez the 4, which sets him up to start game 7, and that's probably not the best situation for the Tigers.
I'm sticking with the Oakland A's here, and I will admit I disqualify myself. I know Billy Beane. I like Billy Beane. I'm a big fan of what Billy Beane has done, and to a certain extent, even what he hasn't done. He has had a movie made about him and his tactics, and he has no rings. And finally, Billy Beane swung for the fences.
Yes.
Instead of keeping one eye on next year and maybe the next year, he just said, I'm out, this is it, all or nothing. He traded his cleanup hitter, a young man with considerable power that he has twice displayed in our home run derby. And I saw Jason Stark was saying last night on your show, Baseball Tonight, that he talked to several executives who said that they couldn't remember a cleanup hitter getting traded.
Yeah.
Right.
Really?
Typically, you trade prospects.
Yeah, yeah. And yet, what did he get back? He got back a man who is 3-0 in the World Series with an 0.43 ERA in John Lester, a man who has been a proven commodity in the postseason. He has 6 postseason wins with a 1.97 ERA. I think you can count on John Lester in the postseason. So when you put him on top of I'm not going to say it's a great rotation, but a pretty good rotation on top of Kazmir, Sonny Gray, Vanderbilt University. Way to go, Sonny. Don't know about him in the postseason because he had a pretty rough outing. And they've had some rough outings against Detroit the last couple of times. So this could be Detroit-Oakland 3, right?
Right.
Okay. So I just think that they have already scored the most runs in baseball. They have the biggest run differential in baseball, obviously the best record in baseball. I think you can get away without Cespedes going forward this year. I think you can platoon it with Fold and Gomes or however you want to do it and get away with it, even though some people say, God, it's so much power to give up. And the Red Sox, they got a good player back.
They did.
Now again, by several accounts, I know Buster only has written this, but Cespedes wasn't loved in the clubhouse, so I don't know if Billy feels like he'll clear the air a little bit, bring him a little closer together in the clubhouse. Fine. But in the big picture, I'm betting on the A's.
I think they can get by without his offensive production, and I believe they're hoping that Josh Reddick, who was terrible in the first half and hurt, but has looked like his old self so far in the last 3 or 4 weeks, they're hoping he steps up. He doesn't have to replace all of what they lost with Cespedes. If he can provide 70-80% of that, like you said, their offense has been the best in the American League so far. They can get by with a little bit less run production because their run prevention now is going to be so much better.
I think they should make a movie about Dave Dombrowski, known as the prospects whisperer, because I don't know what kind of phone sex voice he uses to get people. How do you get David Price? You don't give him anything. Did he go to Andrew Freeman? Hey, baby, give me David Price. You know you wanted to. And he gave him the picture.
That works better in your voice than Dave's.
Either way, whatever he's doing, he's gotten Miguel Cabrera, Anibal Sanchez, and now David Price, and he's practically had to give up nothing. And now he's fortified his rotation where now whatever you say about Justin Verlander, he's still an ace. He's having a bad season, he's still an ace. But you add him with Max Scherzer, David Price, Rick Porcello, Anibal Sanchez. Now, the only thing that could be the Tigers' undoing will be their bullpen.